Weekend is looking quite good in Maine, although there is still some wildfire smoke. You can see that here on the visible satellite. That is over upstate New York. Let's take a look at it now in more detail here. You can see that wildfire smoke here. It's a little bit kind of that milky white right here, okay? So that's going to be coming through later on today and tomorrow through the weekend, but it's not going to be as dense as it was previously, so not as much smoke. There are obviously some clouds here in southern Maine, fair weather cumulus popping up in the western mountains, the Carrabassett Valley, back towards Katahdin, but that is pretty much it. The Katahdin region, you're going to see some cloud cover today, but this is not going to be a big deal. Really, the weekend looks fantastic. So I want to take us into the next few days on the weather highway so I can show you here the trend. So what we have here today is a big ridge, and this ridge is going to signal heat. Now, it's pretty typical, nothing extreme by August standards, but notice here, you got that ridge passes through, and then this bigger ridge comes through. This is Sunday into Monday. So especially by Sunday to Monday, a much stronger ridge comes in, pumps in that heat and the humidity, the wind out of the southwest. So trough here digs in the high plains, okay? So that is going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So next week, it is going to heat up quite a bit. Mid-90s, a run for 100 with the humidity, okay? So it won't be as hot as it was earlier on in the summer and late in the spring. And then going out to the middle of August here, there is a ridge across much of the country. And there's also here, this little area here, the opportunity for something tropical. We'll see, but it is potentially strong enough that this ridge gets kind of backed off, okay? So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the middle to end of the month here in August. But right now I can tell you that heat is not going anywhere. And also the other big story is the drought situation. So we're not in a drought yet in Maine, but a lot of Maine is now abnormally dry. So what that means is that it's been dry and it's also going to stay dry. This is the total precipitation, total rainfall through the middle of August. And it's not until the middle of next week that you see some colors on the map. Now, if a cold front here stalls over southern Maine back towards Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, August 13th, 14th, 15th, you can get some more rain. But most of Maine here is about a half inch or less. And this takes us through the next 10 days or so, right? So I'm going to go through 10 days. Watch here. So it's August 8th now, August 18th, there are 10 days. This is now August 23rd, and notice almost nothing here, half inch. That's a lot in the minus department, a lot in the red as far as in the potential drought situation. So what I'm getting at here is that there is a potential here for the abnormally dry weather that you see on my weather maps on jasonhappyweather.com from the state of Maine, from the drought monitor. That situation has an opportunity to get a lot worse, okay, and to get back into at least stage 1 of a drought. Right now, it's not a drought, it's abnormally dry, but when I look at this and I see the trend of it obviously not looking very much in the way of precipitation for a long time, I do have some concerns about a potential drought. So we'll get into all that in the forecast now in more detail. I'll show you the 10-day forecast for Maine, and also that milky white sky in Portland, Lewis, and Auburn, okay, where there's still some smoke. Not a lot, though. Typical summer heat, and it's going to crank up a little bit, and then tolerable humidity for the weekend. So it's going to get hot. Humidity starts to ramp up Sunday especially, and then into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Here's your 10-day forecast in the mountains, where there's really hardly any rain except Wednesday. That's when that front's going to come through, a pretty weak front. Temperatures get to the 80s, a run for 90 without the humidity. But here, I keep drilling this point home. Inland, 90s and 80s, typical August weather, but thunderstorm opportunity is only Thursday. It's one day, and that is it. It's not a lot. So, you're talking about a half an inch of precip, potentially for the next 10 days, unless you get some training of thunderstorms, which is unlikely for most of Maine next week. We'll see. But either way, it's going to be getting hot. It's going to stay mostly dry, and you want to really think about irrigation here because the lawn that's not in good shape now is not going to look any better 5 days or even 10 days from now. So start thinking about water conservation and all that good stuff because could be entering into early fall, which is very close, September 1st, the first day of fall meteorologically, in a drought. Right now, abnormally dry, but we'll watch and see if the drought does creep back up in the forecast.